Hello everyone, it is April and today I'm going to be sharing with you the theme for the August book club. If you don't know, I've got a little book club over on Patreon. You are always welcome to join. The link is always in the description box below. The theme for, I nearly said July, the theme for August is boats. Stories on boats. Perfect for the end of summer, I think. So the way this works is I have picked 5 books set around boats, and I'm going to dwindle it down to 2, and then it's over to my patrons to decide which book we're going to read. So the first option is The Cat's Table by Michael and Dodgy, who is, I believe, a Canadian author who I've never read. I don't think I've ever read him before. The Cat's Table follows a young boy. He is 11 years old. It's the early 1950s, and he boards a ship bound for London. And on the ship, he is surrounded by a bunch of other boys, also going to England as well. And he goes to sit at the lowly cat's table with an eccentric and fascinating groups of adults and then 2 other boys. As they sail across the ocean, they are telling each other stories, some of them true, some of them, fables, and all sorts of mischief happens on board, and there's all sorts of, interesting characters on board, and there is even a prisoner on board. It just sounds like a lot of fun. I picked this up quite a few years ago now. But I did think that we should read the first line of these because I like to do that with my book hauls, but I really like to do it with these videos so that we can get a sense of the books, and it can help us decide which book to choose for book club, and also helps me dwindle it down. So the first line is, "He wasn't talking." It's not a 5-star first line, but he wasn't talking. Why wasn't he talking? I don't know. Next is a Susan Meissner book. This is historical fiction. It's A Bridge Across the Ocean. And this takes place in 1946. We follow 2 people getting on board the Queen Mary, the RMS Queen Mary, to cross the Atlantic. These 2 women have really gone through quite a lot. The war is over, and they've both, not come out unscathed. Let me just say that. We've got one woman, Anneliese Lang, who was a German ballerina, desperate to escape her past. And then we've also got Simone de Vareux, who is the wronged daughter of a French resistance spy, I should say. Now, they both get on board. Only one of them disembarks. Only one of them gets off of the boat when it reaches the US. They were meant to be destined to become new wives. They're European war wives, but only one of them will get that chance. And it's apparently very much a mystery. So it sounds pretty fun. I mean, Susan Meissner can do no wrong in my opinion. So here is the first line. This RMS Queen Mary, Southampton, England, May 1936. The afternoon sun lies low and sweet among the clouds that hug the harbor, bathing the promenade deck in shimmering half-light. I like the sound of it. Not a 5-star, but it's still a nice sound. Next up, we've got a thriller. I love that. There's a couple of thrillers on here. This one is The Other Passenger by Louise Candlish. This is coming out July 20th. And this is about basically a ferry. People who live off of the mainland take a ferry into work every day to get onto the mainland, do their work, and then come back on a ferry. And so we follow this one woman, our main character, as well as her neighbor Kit, and every single day they get on the ferry, they sit together, they have like small talk, they get off, they work, and this is day in and day out. However, one day Kit doesn't arrive on the boat, And at first he doesn't worry too much. However, his wife, Malia, has now reported him missing, and the police are looking at our main character as a potential suspect. Passengers on board this boat saw them arguing just before he went missing. So what is happening? I don't know. Let's read the first line. December 27th, 2019. Like all commuter horror stories, mine begins in the mean light of early morning, or at least officially it does. I love that first line. I really, really love it. Next is This Tenderland by William Kent Kruger. This is a historical fiction book that takes place in the summer of 1932 in Mississippi. And we follow, I believe, 4 orphans or 4 children. We follow Odie O'Banion, who is an orphan confined to the Lincoln Indian Training School. He commits some sort of crime, and as a result, he is forced to flee. And he leaves with his little brother, Albert, their best friend, and then also a broken-hearted little girl named Emmy. They get into a canoe and they head for the Mississippi, and they are traveling along the Mississippi in this canoe, and all sorts of things happen to them along the way. So, I'm thinking that we shouldn't read the prologue. We should read the first line of chapter 1. Albert named the rat. I like that. First of all, I would name a rat, probably strange like that. So that one sounds really good as well. Finally, last but not least, is Catherine Ryan Howard. You guys know how much I love that woman. This is a thriller book called Distress Signals. She recently was on Instagram describing this book, which I believe is her first book. And she was saying that this is like the perfect summer book. She wrote this for summer. And we follow a man named Adam. And Adam's girlfriend, Sarah, never returned from her business trip. She just vanished out of thin air. He starts looking into it because he misses Sarah. He's worried about Sarah. And he discovers that her disappearance may be linked to a cruise ship, a boat called the Celebrate. And it seems like there's more than one woman who has gone missing from the Celebrate. And he dives into that mystery. Apparently it's like serial killer on a cruise ship. Yes, please. Let's read the first line. Adam. I jump before I decide I'm going to. Okay, now it's up to me to dwindle it down to 2 books. Wish me luck. I've done it. I've decided to go the historical fiction route. So we've got This Tenderland by William Kent Kruger. Takes place in 1932. And then we've also got A Bridge Across the Ocean. Takes place in 1946. They both sound like so much fun and so interesting. I think the characters are going to be good in either one of these. So now it is over to my patrons to decide which book we read for August. I can't wait to see what they choose. Again, if you're interested in reading one of these books and also voting on one of these books, which one we should read together, the link is in the description box. We would love for you to join, and I will chat with you guys very soon. Bye, everybody.